back in the Enclave. So today is hopefully going to be a little bit of a shorter one again, as we go through chapter 2 of our legal test book. As you will see up on the side here, it will be there already. Now today's chapter is quite a simple one. It is Prohibitions. So quite simply, this chapter is going to tell you which firearms or which features of firearms you are not going to be allowed to have on a standard license. Some of these you can get around, but only by getting a collector's license. If I'm not mistaken, the collector's license is the only way that you will be able to have fully automatic weapons. And that is a lot of what the section covers, as you guys will see on the screen there, is a lot of things to do with the modification of a firearm to allow it to shoot more than one round per trigger pull, which is then fully automatic, obviously. So that is basically what the section is going to cover. At the same time, it also outlines basically what I was saying in the first episode, where there are ways to have a legal gun made illegal, and there are ways to have an illegal gun legal in a sense. No, not quite. So I mean, you can get versions of things like AK-47s or AR-15s in semi-auto platforms. A lot of people don't know it's only actually the military varieties of those weapons that are fully auto from factory. So there are ways to get around things like that. So you can get things like the SCAR H or the SCAR L. You can actually get those in a semi-automatic configuration, and then there are actually ways to get them on even lower licenses than the collector's license, obviously, but we don't need to get too much into that. Let's read through a couple of lines in here that once again I feel are important. These not so much important for you to study, but absolutely important in the sense that you need to know this section for when you decide which firearm to purchase. So you need to understand certain firearms are not going to be covered under a section 13 license, and that continues to go with the section 14, 15 or 16. Those are your dedicated sports shooter licenses, your dedicated hunting licenses, and your restricted self-defense permit. Those, they are pretty set, they are what they are. It is once you get to sort of your collector status, where you're going to have no limits on firearms and things like that within reason. But what I was trying to sort of point out when I was saying you need to know things in here for when you purchase a firearm. The way firearms are licensed are with serial numbers. So on your firearm, I should actually have an example of a firearm with me. I do not. It is what it is. So if you want to alter your firearm post-fact, there are some things that you need to understand. So for me personally, I am quite a fan of modification. I don't believe that anything is perfect until it's perfect for me, you know. So, and that is not a dig at Glock, but anyway. So your frame, slide, and barrel are going to be three things that you will see in here. You're not allowed to own for fully automatic weapons, but that also ties into your weapon. So barrels, if you decide once you have purchased a firearm that you would like a threaded barrel, be it for a suppressor slash silencer, be it for a muzzle brake slash compensator, you are not going to be able to purchase a new barrel for your firearm if the barrel on your current firearm houses a serial number. In no way, shape or form are you allowed to remove or alter a component on your firearm that holds a serial number in any way that can affect the serial number. So, are there ways to get around this? Yes. It is going to require you going to gunsmiths. They are not cheap. And once again, this is all within reason. There are going to be certain times where you are not going to be able to swap out the barrel of a firearm, period. In those situations, you're obviously going to be stuck with what you've got. And to be able to change that, you would then need to purchase a whole new firearm. It is a little bit different with your slides and frames, in the sense that most of the modifications that you are going to be doing to a slide or a frame can be done in such a way that they will not affect the serial number. Therefore, not really a big deal. It is something you can do. Once again, you might need to take it to a gunsmith depending on how detailed the work is and whatnot, but you will absolutely be able to do certain modifications. One of the things that I looked at, and it's something that I do recommend that every first time gun buyer looks at, is where do you see yourself in 5 years? Watch a few videos, watch people shoot, watch a couple competitions, and know, is there any chance you might want to compete? Is there any chance one day you might want to run a muzzle brake slash suppressor on your firearm? For me, the answer was absolutely yes. The next question, are you going to want to run any form of RMR, red dot sight, holographic sight on your handgun? They are becoming extremely popular for both self-defense and targets, and to be honest, the answer for me once again was yes. So now that immediately limits me in two places. I need a firearm that's slide, is capable of holding an RMR slash red dot slash holographic, because yes, I do want to have one of those on my firearm at some point. If I were to just purchase any firearm that did not have the slide basically milled to receive a sight, that is another thing that I'm going to have to send my firearm to a gunsmith to do for me, because I promise you 99% of you do not have the milling facilities to get these things done right. They are laser measured, often laser cut. It's a very precise thing. So bear that in mind. Optics ready firearms are great in my opinion, purely because you can always put, you can always avoid using a sight. So you can get a sight ready slide or a sight ready firearm and never put a sight on it. That's no problem. But as soon as you buy a firearm that slide is not ready for RMR or optics ready, you then immediately need to send your precious baby off to a gunsmith to get milled and drilled and all those sort of things to actually be able to accept that sight. And certain firearms you are just not going to be able to do it, depending on what mechanisms are in the rear of the slide, what the thickness of the material is, what the material itself is made of. There are going to be a few options that are going to be a lot more difficult than others to modify post-fact. So think about that in particular, and that's where this section comes in quite handy for me, is that it's going to tell you what you can't do with a handgun or what you can't do with a firearm. And in that sense, it also tells you what you can do. So there are no limits on silencers or suppressors in South Africa. It is one of the few places we are quite lucky. In fact, right now, any one of you who watch this video could go to a gun store, or hell, it's 2020. Go online, click checkout and have a suppressor shipped to your home with literally no paperwork, nothing. They don't even need to know your name. So for me, it was a no-brainer. Absolutely, if I am allowed to have something, I want to have it. So absolutely, I want a suppressor ready firearm. which is why I'm looking at either the Glock MOS Silk, which is a modular optic system suppressor ready Glock, or the Canik TP9 Elite Combat. Either of those two firearms come in at the same price, between 14 and 16,000 Rand, depending on where you're getting them. Like I said, firearms are not cheap. At the same time, there are a lot of other options. CZ do firearms like that. Beretta have firearms like that. Colt have firearms like that. So it is not just limited to Canik and Glock, where you are going to get these competition ready firearms. Basically, there are a lot of other companies that do it, and like I say, you can do it post fact. But I've gone off on a bit of a tangent, but it's because once again this section is not too difficult. It is very self-explanatory. No fully automatic weapons, no explosives, no bombs, no altering your firearm in a way that makes its serial number unrecognizable or unreadable or untrackable. That is it. That is pretty much the basis of this chapter 2, which is why I decided that I would give you guys a little bit more personal of information here, where this section is going to come into play more than likely for you, and that is absolutely, like I said, when purchasing a firearm. But with all that being said, that is pretty much the end of the episode. It was a lot longer than I anticipated it being. I was sort of hoping for maybe 5 minutes, but it is what it is. I hope everyone enjoyed. As always, please like, comment, share and subscribe. It is the only way the channel will grow. And yeah, we will be uploading a couple of videos this week. I have a road to 1,000 subscribers video that I'm about to record right now, and we also have some food reviews coming as well. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for joining at the Enclave. Peace.